Warning: the Chaotic Culture Podcast is a program for mature audiences. The language and content presented in this podcast is of a mature nature that some audiences may not find suitable. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Embrace the culture, blaze the doja, grab your loved ones and bring them closer. Extra, extra, read the poster, the KKP is taking over. Sleeping on me, better smell the Folgers. I've been razor sharp since the Motorola. Off for O, like the cover Oprah. Popping bottles, feet all in the sofa. It's a celebration, though the times is hard. It's raining blessings, give it up to God. Chaotic culture, the greatest pod. With Ked the Pro, the one in charge. But it's a celebration, times is hard. It's raining blessings, give it up to God. Chaotic culture, the greatest pod. With Ked the Pro, the one in charge.
We're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture.
Bear with me. It's been quite a while since you last heard from me. Some things have been going on from a personal standpoint, but I did not want to leave a large break in between episodes like this, so that's why I'm coming to you right now. By the time that you hear this episode, it'll be my 32nd birthday, and I'm going to be honest, this really is it's quite the time. I'm having a lot of difficulty right now, and not because I'm turning 32. I'm thankful and I'm blessed that God was able to bless me with 32 years of living. It's just in year 32, or at least in the year 2023, things have just been happening at such a crazy pace, and then unfortunately, things within my family have been happening that have kept me from recording as much as I want to. So please bear with me this episode. This was meant to be a celebration, and right now it's just going to be like me trying to, I guess, spill my heart out a little bit. So, but before I do that, good evening, morning, and afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast, the pod where chaos rules and black culture is supreme. This is your host, Ked the Pro, the founder and creator of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. I'll have a different intro for you later on down the line when we do more episodes, but I just wanted to come to you bearing my heart, bearing my soul, and I want you, whatever you take from this episode, I just want you to know how I'm feeling, and I hope that you can understand what I've been going through, and I hope that this doesn't discourage you from listening, because I really do want you to continue listening. I just know that the episodes, as far as recording them back to back, they're not happening as much just because of, things that are happening beyond my control. In which case, it has to deal with, excuse me, personal issues, family issues, and it's been a challenge, to say the least. The good thing, I told you guys before that I finally do have a therapist, and we do plan on speaking with each other before the end of the week. It's just been really, really nuts on how quickly life can throw curveballs at you. And then sometimes life will throw you multiple curveballs at once. And you have to find a way to navigate that, regardless if you're prepared for them or not. I'm going to try and be as candid as possible. I'm also going to still try to, update you with current events and things that you may or may not have been listening to, watching, or things like that. So, again, bear with me. if this is your first time listening to the Chaotic Culture Podcast, I definitely appreciate you tuning in. If you are a returning listener, words cannot express how grateful I am that you decided to tune into this small little podcast that's broadcasting out of Newport News, Virginia. If you are a longtime supporter, it's really not much I can say. It's really not much I can say, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To our Patreon subscribers, thank you for your continued support here. You know, it means a lot that you were able to dedicate your time to this podcast, and whatever you decided to donate to this podcast, once again, you know, I still greatly appreciate you for just putting a little bit in to help us keep the lights on. I am going to start shouting out our Patreon subscribers as soon as I can pull up this list, because this podcast really is nothing without you guys. I know some people have deleted their patrons, and that's fine. You know, by all means, do what you have to do to make sure that you have funds in your pocket, because I know some people can do it and some people can't. That's life. But still, we're here. And the fact that you even decided to even just put a little bit of money into this, or just a little bit of your time into this, that really means a lot to me personally. So I just want you to know that if you're a former Patreon subscriber or a current Patreon subscriber, thank you. Thank you for your continued support. I'm still trying to pull up the list. I'll probably have to wait till the end of the episode to go ahead and say who our Patreon subscribers are, but still, words cannot express my gratitude here. For my co-hosts, I want y'all to know that I love y'all dearly, and thank you for being along this journey with me for this podcast. So to Law, to Chinasa, to Sappy, and to Johnny, thank you. Thank you. And I hope that you continue this ride with me as we continue to grow this podcast. We're not done yet. We're really just getting started. It's just, you know, life took a crazy turn, and it just seems to get crazier and crazier by the second. So in any case, if you want to know what's been going on in my life, I've been having ankle issues. That's number one. Excuse me. I've also been dealing with bronchitis, so I'm just now really like starting to get over that. But unfortunately, with it being allergy season, it has irritated it. So clearly, I'm still trying to navigate through that. But as far as the ankle, I'm probably gonna have to get a CAT scan on it to find out what's going on. I'm hoping I don't need surgery, but if I do, then I mean, I'll update y'all on that. But still, that's what's been going on with that. It's been a compound of injuries that have happened over the past, but it got really worse when I tweaked it at work, and then it felt like it hadn't healed properly. So yeah, that's what's been going on. Work has been really challenging, especially in my position, trying to, you know, be a leader, but still having some issues as far as what constitutes a leader, at least in that department, and making sure that I can lead effectively and I can lead a team effectively when the branch manager is not there. So it's still a work in progress, guys, and I'm still working on me. So, and then there's other things that are happening in life. The only thing I'm going to say is just pray for my grandma. That's all I can say. Just pray for my grandma. Pray for the rest of my family too. We definitely need your prayers. We definitely need your comforting words. And I know that me personally, I need your comforting words. I'm a very emotional person. I love hard. I love strong. And the people who are really close to me really mean a lot to me. So whether they be friends or family, when they go through, I feel them. I really, really, truly feel what they're feeling, and I always want to be there for them, and I always want to care for others. My heart is that big. I think I get that from my paternal grandmother, but still, just pray for my grandma and pray for my family. Pray for my dad too. He just had to have a coronary stent, and so I wanted to be sure that y'all knew what was going on with that. He's okay, and I thank God that he's okay. But I just wanted to leave y'all with that's what's been going on, is that I've just been dealing with some family things. It's not easy. It's really, really not easy. But I think that just comes with time and with being an adult. When you see your parents get older and you see your grandparents get older, and then you realize you're getting older, it's a lot to take in, and it's a lot to deal with sometimes. At the same time, we know that it's a part of life, but it doesn't register a lot of the times. And yet, you have to come to that realization that this is part of life's cycle. To be honest, when you're younger, I never imagined that I would ever see my 30s or 40s. Not because I couldn't, I didn't think I would survive or anything. I just couldn't picture it. And then here I am, 32. Like, wow. I'm still early 30s, but it's crazy how quickly time is passing. Before I know it, I'll be 40. I got another 8 years for that, but it's just really, really interesting how quickly time will pass before you even know it. And when you stop to really think about it, it's just crazy how life can turn out, because my parents are on the verge of 70. And it's like, wow. I remember when my grandparents were in their 70s. It's really just, and it's really amazing when you see where your parents are and where you are and where the rest of your family is age-wise. And then you see just the new life that is coming from that. You realize how quickly your little baby cousins are growing up. You realize that your cousins are having kids now and how quickly they're growing up. Life is beautiful, but life is really, really strange sometimes. Speaking of which, that reminds me, I need to reach out to my sister and talk to my niece. I haven't spoken to my niece in who knows how long. I always ask about her, and I always want to be sure that I send a birthday gift or a Christmas gift or something. But still, it's like my niece is about to be 10 in August. And I haven't seen my niece since she was 4. And I really want to change that. I know I'm a working adult and I don't make as much money as I would like to make, but still, I still want to go up and see my niece and actually try to be an uncle. Because you don't get that opportunity all the time. And unfortunately, my sister's son, my nephew, he's only 2 years younger than I am. So he's 30. So it's really like I can't really be an uncle to him because we're more like cousins. But I could still be an uncle to my niece. So I definitely want to get that opportunity one way or the other. It's still crazy to think about, guys. Just how life is right now. What does year 32 have in store? To be honest, I have no idea. I have no idea where God is about to take me. This road has been crazy, rough, and 2023 has thrown so many curveballs my way. It's amazing just how I've been able to either hit them or dodge them, and some might have beamed me, but even still, I'm still standing. And I thank God that I'm still standing, and thank God that I'm still breathing. I thank God that I have the tribe that I have and friends, even when we have disagreements. I'm thankful for the family that I have. I'm thankful that my family is strong despite the differences in certain parts of my family, whether it be on my mom's side or my dad's side, despite arguments, despite people not seeing eye to eye all the time. The important thing is that my family still remains strong. And I think that's what's important. As long as we have that foundation, as long as we continue to lean on God, as long as we continue to love, then ultimately I think we'll be okay. Before I get back on my tangent, I do want to talk about a few things that have happened. Obviously, if you've been paying attention to the Jean Carroll case, then you know that Trump lost, or rather, he has been found guilty of defamation and contributing to sexual abuse. He wasn't found guilty of rape, but still, he has to pay Jean Carroll he has to pay Jean Carroll $5 million. So, yeah. How anybody can still vote for this man, I clearly, I don't know. I don't know why. And I don't know why people who are quote unquote Republicans still see him as a man of God. He is not a man of God. I will say that to this very day, until my dying breath, that DJT is not a man of God. He was not sent by God. Or rather, he might have been sent by God, but sent for a different reason. He wasn't sent to save America. He was sent to put us in, or to give us a reality check. Like, y'all gonna keep messing around and using my name in vain and thinking that y'all are doing this all under my name when y'all not showing the people I created love. Well, here y'all go. This is what y'all asked for. Now deal with it. So I pray that we don't have to deal with him again, or that that devil that resides in Florida. Listen, y'all. Listen, please, please, please. I know that some of y'all may feel a way about the current president, about Joe Biden, but if you look at who's on the other side, I know we say we can't keep voting for the lesser of two evils. Well, I'd rather the lesser of the two evils than someone who is extremely evil and will do everything that he possibly can to not only attack LGBTQIA, but also destroy diversity. He is trying, literally, DeSantis is trying to destroy diversity in colleges and universities. I'm trying not to rant. I'm trying not to rant about it. But if you can understand where we come from, if you can understand where I come from, you know that diversity plays an important role in my life. Now, are diversity programs equitable right now? Do they need strengthening? Of course they need strengthening. No diversity program is, perfect. Whether that be in your job or whether that be in school, like, none of these things are perfect, but they can be worked on. But to eliminate them completely, you're just trying to send us back to the dark ages. You're trying to send us back to Jim Crow at this point. Because that's what y'all want. Y'all want the good old days. Y'all could discriminate freely without being judged. We want to go to days where y'all can burn books because y'all want to think that it's grooming kids to, to be part of woke culture. Man, try not to cuss. In any case, the word woke has become a new trigger word for we don't like anything involving gay people, black people, or different people of different cultures. It's their way to attack us as if we are not sane or that we're not asking for equitable rights. It seems that we're asking for unreasonable rights and privileges when all we want is equality and equity, and to be treated equal, and to not be looked down upon, and to have equal payment and to have fairness in purchasing housing, fairness at the banks, to not be discriminated against because of how we look or how we wear our hair. And yet, man, the way that they turn the word woke into such a trigger word. If you go out and you ask any super conservative what it means to be woke, I guarantee you they can't give you a straight answer, and they won't give you a straight answer. Because if it means to be aware of your surroundings and to be aware of injustices, if you phrase it like that, I promise you they're going to stumble on their words. And they're going to be like, whoa, what do you mean by injustice? Are we not fair and things like that? And you can name off everything that's not fair, and they'll still find a way to try to turn around on you and gaslight you. But let me move on. In any case, guys, I repeat, do not put DJT back in office. I'm warning you. And don't put DeSantis in office either. I'm warning you. You heard it here first. Next, Tory Lanez. Yeah, he was not granted a new trial. And I don't know why y'all thought that was going to happen, but he was not granted a new trial. I'm just going to say it like that. Like, and I can't believe I actually said his actual name on this podcast, because y'all know how I feel about Daystar Peterson. But, yeah. Do not, I repeat, do not follow that up, because if you want to try and bash Megan, and I hear about it, I mean, it is what it is, but you're wrong. Just because Tory won the court of public opinion does not mean that translates to actual court of law. Excuse me. He may have convinced y'all Twitter niggas, excuse my language, he may have convinced y'all Twitter folk that he was not guilty and things like that, but if you actually paid attention to the case, that man didn't have a single leg to stand on. I'm sorry. Whatever the case may be, he was not granted a new trial, and the sentencing is going to be sometime next month. Do with that information what you will. As I told you before, we support Megan over here on this podcast. We do not support Daystar Peterson. So, have at it the way that you want to have at it. It is what it is. Let's transition. Let's do some more stuff. Of course, we got basketball going on. It's the NBA playoffs. The Lakers are up 3-1 on the Warriors, and oh my gosh, yo, like, I know Johnny's a Lakers fan on here, but oh my Lord. I kid you not, man. If there's one set of fans I cannot stand, is Laker fans. Y'all are the absolute worst. And I know some people will talk about the bandwagon Warrior fans, but ain't nothing like a daggone Laker fan, bro. Like, y'all, they're thankfully not as bad as Cowboy fans, but they are still just as bad. And then, because it's really, really crazy how I knew some Laker fans who could not stand LeBron James when he was not on the team. But then all of a sudden he joins the Lakers, and now he's the greatest player of all time. I just got to laugh. at that. But in any case, I really just don't like the fact that LeBron played for teams that I really did not particularly care for. Except for, like, the Heat. I never had any problems with the Heat. I didn't want him to win that first year there, but I never really had any problems with the Heat. And I actually kind of was okay with him playing down there. But he played for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and y'all know I'm a Bulls fan, so I don't like the Cavs. And then he goes to the Lakers. Good grief, man. Anyway, Lakers are up 3-1. And then the Heat are up 3-1 in their series as well. I'm just watching the scoreboard now. It looks like Philly's about to be up 3-2 on Boston. And then the Suns and the Nuggets will play later on tonight. And that series is tied 2-2. So, yeah. NBA playoffs are really getting to the nitty-gritty this time. If you're a Knicks fan, I'm sorry. I don't know. I just think that regardless if you think that that Jimmy is the glue and that he's the only person they have, well, I mean, if you can't stop him, what can you do? Bulls should have never got rid of Jimmy Butler. I'll stand on that until the day I die. Jimmy Butler should have been a Bull. He should have led that team, and they should have put some parts around him so he could have led that team to where the Heat are going right now. Because I think the Heat are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm sorry, it will not be the Knicks. It'll either be the Heat and the Sixers or the Heat and the Celtics. It'd be crazy if the bubble teams actually made it back to the finals. That would be crazy. Except this time, I hope the Heat does win because, y'all, I will not. Oh goodness gracious! If the Lakers win another one, not only are we not gonna hear the end of it from Laker fans because they'll have the most NBA championships of all time, but then you ain't gonna hear the end of it from LeBron fans because they'll be like, oh, he's 38 in such and such season, and now he's got his 5th ring. He's the greatest of all time. He's better than Jordan. You're gonna hear those arguments all over the place. I'm just like, nah, man. The Lakers cannot get to the finals and win. Please, please, please stop the Lakers from winning. That's all that I ask. That is all that I ask. Anyway, if you've been keeping up with spring anime, yeah, if you have not watched Hell's Paradise, do yourself a favor and do that. Hell's Paradise is great. It is great. Like, it is absolutely phenomenal. There's a lot of spring anime that is just really good, really, really good right now. Like, the spring season is kicking winter seasons behind. So, if you have not seen Hell's Paradise, please sure that you do so. If you need some more info on like different spring anime to watch, feel free to message me. Of course, I've got a list of spring anime that I'm currently watching right now and getting through. So yeah, definitely hit me up for that. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I really want to like touch on because there's been a lot that's been going on obviously for the last couple of weeks. Naturally, right now the biggest trending thing is Queen Charlotte. I have not watched Queen Charlotte. I have to actually go back and finish Bridgerton before I do that. So there's that. Guardians of the Galaxy. Apparently, Volume 3 is great. I will be watching that probably sometime this weekend. So, yep, there's that. Is there anything else I want to mention before I get off of here? All the games that are coming out. Obviously, Street Fighter 6 is about to come out next month. So, I'm getting ready for that. If you've been playing the demo, definitely tap into that as well. There is a competition that's actually going to be held in the 7.5 in August called Beast of the East. Shout out to my coworker Mike for putting me on to that. It's really like a gaming competition. Of course, you get a chance to sign up to whatever game you're good at, and of course they will be held like round robin tournament style. And there's a chance for you, of course, to win money at the end of that. So if you're in the 757 area and you're looking for something to participate in, if you're a gamer, and you love fighting games, then I would highly recommend that you check out Beast of the East. So if you're a fan of Soul Calibur, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter, and I believe they do have Marvel vs. Capcom as well, definitely tap into that. I'm thinking about signing up. I'm a noob though because I haven't touched Street Fighter in who knows how long for real. Like I stopped playing Street Fighter 5, not because I didn't enjoy it, I just stopped. And I'm a Mortal Kombat guy, but man, I have not really touched Mortal Kombat 11 in a minute because I don't know. Mortal Kombat 11 just wasn't like, it wasn't 10. It wasn't Mortal Kombat X to me, and I love Mortal Kombat X. Mortal Kombat 11 was good. It just wasn't the same for real. I love the story a little better. Cause y'all know I'm a big fan of Liu Kang. So anytime that Liu Kang comes out on top, of course, that's my guy. But still, like the game mechanics were a lot slower than they were. Though the fatalities were way better in Mortal Kombat 11 than they were in Mortal Kombat 10 or Mortal Kombat X. It's just the gameplay itself was kind of like, The fighting mechanics were kind of, it's a little slower. But either way, still, that's coming up. So definitely be sure that you tap into Beast of the East. Something in the Water actually happened a couple of weeks ago here in Virginia Beach. Now, there was some rain delays on Friday, but it ended up actually opening the doors at around 5 p.m. when the rain cleared out all day Saturday. And then Sunday, unfortunately, got rained out. due to storms and tornadoes and whatnot. So we didn't get a chance to go out there Sunday. But Friday, I will try to like break down the performances that I saw. So I saw 3 Eyes Blind, which, you know, I've never seen 3 Eyes Blind in concert. So that was definitely an experience itself. So if you haven't checked out the band, I mean, it's a very, very old band at this point. Like, you've heard a few songs from them, but still, or maybe you haven't, but still, they've been around for quite some time. So I've definitely checked out 3 Eyes Blind. What else did I see on Friday? Because Friday wasn't. After that was Wale. Wale was only on for a little bit because 3 Eyes Blind ran over, and Wale didn't get a chance to perform, hit the entire set. But I still got a chance to see him, and I'm glad that I did. We heard a little bit of Polo G, heard a little bit of Kalani's set, though Kalani had some sound issues. Then Doechii was on stage for God knows how long. I could hear her from all the way on the other side. So if you have not experienced something in the water, the first time that they did it, of course, they had like the main beach stage on the beach on one end, and then on the other end it was really just nothing. They had smaller stages like outside the main venue, but this year they had the solar stage, which was the main stage on one end, and then the lunar stage all the way on the other, like 5 blocks down. Now, granted, because it's on the beach, it allowed for a wider space than it did in DC. DC was cramped when they brought it back in 2022, but this time it was a lot wider space. I learned my lesson. I brought my mask still, but there was less congestion. Though, you know, trying to get close to the stage was still, you know, pretty difficult because there was still a lot of people out there. But excuse me. Yeah, it definitely was a spectacle, to say the least. Now, with that in mind, on the solar stage, after Polo G performed, we saw Kenny Beats came on for about 10 minutes, performed a quick set, and then we got Skrillex. So we got a whole chance to like do EDM rave style and got a chance to enjoy that. And then at the very end of Friday night was Cudi. So I got a chance to finally see Kid Cudi on stage. That was an experience. I wish I could have stayed for the entire thing, but I had to work on Saturday, so there's that. Saturday was an all-day thing, though I didn't get there until 4 because, again, I had to work. But once I got out there, definitely enjoyed my time. Got a chance to see Kaytranada, and I know him and Amine are actually getting ready to drop an album, so there's that. I saw the Kid Laroi. Who I'm not the biggest fan of Kid Laroi, but there are a couple tracks that I definitely appreciated, though I much rather probably should have just went and saw Lotto, but Lotto was so crowded. So I only heard like a couple of joints from her, so it was just like, man, I'm just going to go to where it's not crowded. So that's where we went and saw the Kid Laroi, and there was a lot of space there, obviously, but still got a chance to appreciate that performance. He did really well, despite me not being like his biggest fan, but there's that. Then it got really interesting because I was trying to figure out who to see next, and I didn't know whether I wanted to see Machine Gun Kelly or whether I wanted to see Lil Yachty. I ended up seeing Lil Yachty, and that was a mistake. That was a mistake because, of course, he performed some from his concept funk album, and yeah, it was not really the best. I don't know. I don't know what he did. Of course, he performed his turn up songs afterwards, which the last 15 minutes were much better than his entire set, but still, that was like, bro, you're at a music festival. You could perform maybe one or two from your concept album, but and I still appreciate that he had black women musicians that were performing with him and black, you know, singers, but the performance was not there. So there's that. And granted, I'm not the biggest Machine Gun Kelly fan, but I heard his performance was great, and I probably should have went over there. It is what it is, you know. FOMO at this point, the fear of missing out, but whatever happened at that point happened. After him, I stayed a little bit to hear Summer Walker, and then I ran over because I wanted to see Lil Wayne. And I got a chance to hear Lil Wayne and see him on stage for the first time in my life, and I'm glad that I went over and did. Then afterwards, of course, we had Pharrell and friends, and Pharrell came and performed a few numbers. He had Busta Rhymes come out and perform a few of his numbers. Of course, he brought out Coi Leray for the Players remix that they did to the Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See beat. And then he also had a few more friends come out. He had Lotto and what was that girl's name? Goodness gracious, I can't remember off the top of my head. Either way, that performance came. It was Lotto and what is her name? It's gonna bother me. It is going to bother me, and I'm about to look it up right now because I know and I can see the Lola Brooke. There we go. Goodness gracious, I don't know why I couldn't name her, but he had Lola Brooke come out, and Lola Brooke and Lotto perform their joint. Then he had MIA come out, of all people. Goodness gracious, I'm glad I got a chance to see MIA. Not the biggest fan, but of course we all know Paper Planes. So there's that. And then of course he brought out shout out to Plug too, man, and rest in peace to Dave. But he did bring out De La Soul, and you could tell a lot of the crowd doesn't really know a lot of De La Soul, especially because there's a lot of the crowd's time. Let's be real. But if you truly know hip hop, you know just how influential De La Soul really was. But they came out and they performed a few numbers, and I'm glad that Plug One came out and did his thing despite the fact that Dave was not there. And rest in peace to Dave. I wish he would have got a chance to do that. So yeah, shout out to them. And then he brought out Pharrell brought out Chris Brown. I'm taking a deep breath on this one because, man. So apparently, I got some thoughts on this. Now, Chris Brown actually performed better than he did the first time that he was at Something in the Water, which is crazy because he was only out for maybe 10 minutes as opposed to having a whole set. But yeah, he actually performed a lot better. That being said, I gotta mention Chris Brown because, dude, bro, what is wrong with this dude, man? Like, he needs help. He seriously needs help. He needs an intervention. He needs something. Because apparently he was involved in an altercation with Usher, of all people, during his birthday celebration at the Lovers and Friends tour, or the Lovers and Friends celebration. Like, what, bro? Usher had a party for you, and you get up in this grill because Teyana Taylor doesn't want to entertain you. And granted, Teyana Taylor and Chris Brown have been friends for a long time as well, but it's just the simple fact that I guess he was trying to get at her. I don't know if he was drunk. I think he was. But it's like, bro, she is married. And Iman don't play that ish. What are you doing? But Usher tried to deflate the situation, and then Chris Brown called him a coward or something like that. Apparently there was an altercation. There was news reports going on saying that Usher got jumped by Chris Brown and his entourage, which is really crazy because Usher has been your biggest cheerleader for who knows how long. And you over here burning bridges, bro? Is that how you do? It's like the moment that one of them gets you upset, you just decide to burn that bridge. Is that the game that we playing right now, Chris? Come on, dude. Come on, bro. Either way, I don't know if the reports of Usher getting a bloody nose is true because apparently pictures posted and it looked like he was fine and he still ended up performing. But it's just the idea that Chris Brown would even attempt to attack someone who's been in his corner since day one, and to go at a wonderful young lady who's also been in his corner since day one. That tells me that there are more underlying problems than what we already know. We've already given Chris Brown chance after chance after chance after chance after chance, but there's something else going on, bro. I don't know if he needs to see a shrink. I don't know if he needs to go seek therapy. I don't even know if he needs to check himself into rehab. But this can't go on, man. We can't keep giving him excuse after excuse after excuse and chance after chance after chance when he keeps doing stuff like this, especially the people who actually genuinely care about him. That's not how people operate. That's not how people operate. If I have a friend who keeps abusing his privileges chance after chance and he keeps messing up and doesn't get the help that he needs, I'm going to start questioning that friendship. I'm going to stop enabling that person. And I would hope that y'all would do the same as well for your friends if they continue to do this and abuse their position. Because this right here, this ain't it. This is not it. Chris Brown needs help, y'all. And we can't keep giving him these excuses whenever he decides to put a toe out of line. Like, bro is an habitual line stepper. And sometimes he'll cross those lines. It should have ended with Rihanna. It really should have. He should have gotten the help then. But clearly, this is behavior that is he does not want to fix. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like he does not want to fix this behavior. He wants to continue this behavior. And honestly, I don't know if I could be around anybody like that. Not that I know him personally, but it's like when you know that there's a problem and you decide to still not get help. Yeah. All I can say to that is I'd really hope that this man gets some serious help. I really hope that he gets some serious help. That's all I can really say about that. Well, that was something in the water because afterwards, Sunday it rained, so we didn't even get a chance to enjoy Sunday for real. But other than that, I think that that's really all that I had for this episode, or really that might be all that I can give at this moment. So to my Patreon subscribers, once again, I appreciate you for still being a Patreon subscriber, and I appreciate you for donating to this podcast. We really appreciate you for helping keep the lights on. Please be sure that you subscribe to the Patreon. If you are a listener, patreon.com/chaotic culture pod. I promise you there's bonus content on there that you will want to see. We do have video episodes that are on the Patreon that are exclusive to the Patreon. So if you want to check out those video episodes, please, again, be sure that you subscribe. That's patreon.com/chaotic culture pod. They are only available on Patreon for right now. They are not on YouTube. They are not on Spotify. They are not anywhere but Patreon. So if you want to see us in our natural habitat, if you want to see us be goofballs, yeah, definitely check out the Patreon, and please be sure that you subscribe. To my family, I love y'all. Thank you for your everlasting love, and thank you for your continuous support. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all really don't know how much I love y'all, and I really am praying that things do not turn for the worse when my birthday does come around. But at the same time, if it be God's will, it's not much we can do. But even still, I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all so much. To my friends, to my brothers, to anybody who I deem close family, I love y'all. Y'all are truly my support system, and I thank y'all for continuing to support me and this podcast and any other platform that I'm a part of. I'm going to need y'all. I'm seriously going to need to lean on y'all, especially in these coming weeks. Hopefully I get a chance to talk to my therapist sometime this week. And if I don't, hopefully it'll be sometime next week, because this is a lot to unpack. But I'm still glad that I got a chance to record this episode for y'all. And I'm thankful that I've created a space for us to talk about things like this as well. We always stress that mental health is important. And I'm glad that I was able to get a therapist to help with that journey. That being said, that doesn't mean that life doesn't just keep happening and that life stops. Unfortunately, it's going to keep turning. Life is going to keep going. And things are going to happen beyond our control. But the good thing about it is that trouble don't last always. And as some of the old gospel songs say, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And I can only thank God that I'm so blessed to have such a loving and caring family, and so blessed to have loving and caring friends. Year 32, man. Year 32. If you've wished me happy birthday, I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate all the birthday wishes that I'm going to get, not only today or in the next couple days. But yeah, y'all, this has been quite the year. And I hope that I get a chance to actually like celebrate being 32. But, you know, come what may, I'm just thankful that I was able to grow into the person that I am today. And I'm still growing. So I just pray that I continue to be a force of light, and I continue to be a loving and caring person. And I pray that if you listen to this podcast, that you might share this with somebody who needs to hear these words of encouragement. Because oftentimes we deal with black podcasts, and I really don't want to put my people down, but we deal with black podcasts who only talk about the messy stuff, and they want to get into the, relationship discussions and all the hoo-ha and discourse about, what makes a black man, or what a black woman should do in a relationship, or are you paying $200 and $300 for dates and things like that? This isn't the podcast for that. This is not the podcast for that. We live in a chaotic culture, but we're here to try and make some sense of it. We're here to celebrate those who are in the community. We're here to celebrate those who are making a way and being artists. We're here to bring up the black content creator. That is the purpose of this podcast. Yes, we're going to give you the messy stuff that's happening in our culture, but this isn't just to, give mess and things like that. Or we're here to talk about the music of the culture, but it's not just strictly about music. This is about how we grow as a society within this culture. It's about us finding different avenues of success and income and ways that we can be great. This is what this podcast is about. So take heed to those words. But also know that in this journey, you can never fight this journey alone. No matter what you deal with, just know that you always have friends and family who support you. And if you don't, but you listen to me, just know that I will support you. With that in mind, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'm not going to do the rundown. But I will say that be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Chaotic Culture Podcast. Please be sure that you follow us on all social media. You can follow the IG at Chaotic Culture Pod. You can follow us on Twitter at Chaotic_Culture. You can follow me, Ked the Pro. That's K3D the Pro on all social media. You can follow Law on Instagram at L.JR_96 and on Twitter at Law96_. You can follow Sappy on all social media at Scraps14. You can follow Miss Nasa on all social media at _CallMeNasa. You can follow Johnny at all social media at JLeeTrey. You can also follow him on Twitch at JLeeTrey1. And with that, this concludes another episode of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. So, until next time, folks, remember, embrace the culture, chaos rules, be blessed, be safe, God is love, I love you, 2 up, 2 down.
Look, it's chaos in these streets, so let's talk about it, please. Let's hold some conversation. You see where I'm coming from. Yes, it's so amazing. Go ahead, get comfortable. You can grab a seat, take a load off your feet. Yeah, welcome to the table. We don't tell no lies over here. This ain't no fable. We just live our lives over here. We ain't no angels. We just shine our light over here. We got the power. We just showing love over here. Cause everybody needs some, yeah. And we don't need a reason. Everybody needs some. And we don't need a reason, cause
We're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture. living in a